Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the honorable panels. Today, me, myself, Faten, Nadhirah, Kerina, BINTI, Karim, with my research partner, BINTI, ZULKEFLEE, will be presenting our VIVA presentation titled Factors of Unemployment Among Fresh Graduates in Kuala Lumpur Post-Pandemic Malaysia.
The announcement by the Malaysian government that the country will enter the post-COVID-19 pandemic on April 1, 2022, after about 2 years of being affected by the pandemic, has been the beginning of a new life for most of nations. There is no doubt that the COVID-19 pandemic that people have been facing for 2 years has had a profound impact and realization on many things. And one of the negative impacts that have been felt to this day is the increase in the rate of unemployment among fresh graduates. Therefore, this research has been agreed to be carried out to study more deeply about this issue, especially the factors of unemployment among fresh graduates during the post-pandemic period. As Kuala Lumpur is the capital of Malaysia and a source of employment, the researchers agreed to conduct this research among fresh graduates in Kuala Lumpur in the age range of 19 to 38 years old. Clearer explanations and details about this topic will be discussed by researchers hereafter.
In the year 2020, the number of unemployed fresh graduates increased significantly by 22.5%, equivalent to over 37.2 thousand people to 202.4 thousand people as stated by the Department of Statistics Malaysia 2021. This will indirectly put pressure on the fresh graduate both physically and mentally. According to Hanafi 2021, a 25-year-old graduate named Farah felt depressed and frustrated when all the job applications she had applied for over the past 10 months were not answered. This problem became worse when the whole country, including Malaysia, was hit by the threatening disease known as COVID-19. Many restrictions have been made by the Malaysian government to prevent the spread of this COVID-19, such as by enforcing the restrictions of Movement Control Order (MCO). By the implementations of MCO, there were many business sectors that have to stop operating and close for a period of time. This have resulted in many people being laid off, and many fresh graduates are unable to secure unemployment since the employer have stopped the recruitment process due to the restriction. Bernama 2022 stated that on April 1, Malaysia will enter the post-pandemic situation where it allowed people to return to near normal life after more than 2 years of battle with COVID-19 pandemic. However, the effect of the restriction have affected fresh graduates until today. During this post-pandemic situation, it is due to many workers who have been laid off are also struggling to get new job during this post-pandemic situation, since all economic sector have been allowed to reopen by the Malaysian government. According to Muhammad Zaki 2021, it occurred that fresh graduates had to fight not only among other fresh graduates for job, but with the masses who lost their job when the COVID-19 pandemic hit the country. Undeniably, the situation is an emerging challenge for the graduates who are looking for a job.
Moreover, in order to answer the 3 research questions of this study, 3 research objectives have been targeted to be achieved at the end of this research. The first objective is to investigate the factors that contribute to the high rate of unemployment among fresh graduates during the post-pandemic in Kuala Lumpur. The second is to analyze the statistical association between unemployment among fresh graduates with every 3 factors that contribute to unemployment. And the last objective of this research is to examine the relationship between unemployment among fresh graduates post-pandemic in Kuala Lumpur and the 3 factors that contribute to the high rate of unemployment.
Next, we move to conceptual framework. In the conceptual framework, it consists of 1 dependent variable, which is unemployment among fresh graduates in Kuala Lumpur, and 3 independent variables, namely candidate skill, employee preference, and economic instability. I will proceed with the research methodology that have been used in our research. First is research design, where we use cross-sectional, quantitative method, and questionnaire survey. Next is the levels of analysis, where we focus on the fresh graduate in Kuala Lumpur and factors that contribute to unemployment during this post-pandemic period. Then sampling technique. We use the non-probability sampling, which is judging sampling. For the data measurement, there are respondent demographic, unemployment among fresh graduates in Kuala Lumpur, candidate skill, employee preference, economic instability, and initiative taken by the fresh graduate to reduce the unemployment. Most of the data is measured using Likert scale. Furthermore, for our research, we have obtained 175 respondents among the fresh graduate. For the data analysis, we apply quantitative data analysis, SPSS analysis, descriptive statistic, percent correlation, and multiple regression. Last but not least, for the data collection, we focus on 6 sections, namely Section A for respondent demographic, Section B for unemployment among fresh graduate, Section C candidate skill, Section D employer preference, Section E economic instability, and Section F for initiative taken by the fresh graduate to reduce the unemployment.
Based on the table, the majority of the respondents involved are female with 112 respondents, which is 64%, followed by males with 63 respondents, which is 36%. Most of the respondents are aged 19 to 20 years old, with a total of 105 people, which is 60%, while the least age of respondents was between 29 to 33 years old, which is a total of 15 respondents, which is 8.6%. Referring to the race of respondents, this demographic profile shows that Malays are the most race that answer the questionnaire, which is 161 respondents with 92%. Based on the information received, respondents with bachelor degree academic qualification are the most unemployed in Kuala Lumpur during the post-pandemic, which is 92 respondents with 52.6%. Public University or IPTA recorded the highest number of unemployed fresh graduates with a total of 142 respondents of 81.1%. Most of the respondents have experienced being unemployed for less than 6 months, which is a total of 113 respondents with 64.6%. Aware that it is difficult to get a job during the post-pandemic, the average of those looking for a job with the highest frequency is 45 respondents with 25.7%, who look for a job almost every day, while 75 respondents with 41.7% recorded being uncertain about how often they look for job opportunities. Aware of the problem faced, there are various other initiatives taken by the respondent. Among them are actively looking for a job in an organization with a total of 96 respondents with 54.6%. However, of a total of 175 respondents, there are 4 respondents with 2.3% who do not have other initiative to out of this problem.
Then, I will explain the main findings of our research. The first objective is to analyze the statistical association between unemployment among fresh graduates with every 3 factors that contribute to unemployment. Methods of analysis used is percent correlation. The result obtained is only 2 independent variables that contribute to the unemployment among fresh graduates, which are employer preference and economic instability, with R value of 0.280 and 0.567 respectively. Therefore, we can conclude that H1 is rejected, but H2 and H3 are accepted. The second objective is to examine the strong relationship between unemployment among fresh graduates, post-pandemic in Kuala Lumpur, and 3 factors that contribute to the high rate of unemployment. Multiple regression is the analysis method used for this objective. The result occurred is R squared is 0.322, beta value for employer preference and economic instability is 0.023 and 0.556 respectively, while P value is 0.7141 and 0.000 respectively. Therefore, it can be concluded that economic instability is the most significant factor that contribute to unemployment compared to other factors. For the recommendation, it is suggested for the government, specifically the Minister of Higher Education, to provide the graduate with appropriate and sufficient employability skill into the learning syllabus in order to increase employment among fresh graduates. The Minister of Higher Education have to place more focus and emphasize on developing the soft and hard skill that most companies want, especially the academic curriculum planners. Maddan, Ismail and Daud 2020 advised the Higher Education Institute to establish employment-oriented program and courses to help students in understanding better their potential careers. This also could give the knowledge and awareness on what skills are now being demanded, and at the same time provide them the platform to develop necessary skills while obtaining knowledge.
Furthermore, after studying in more detail, is it proven that employer preference are one of the factors to unemployment among this group. Therefore, the recommendation proposed through the research report is that employers need to fairly assess the extracurricular involvement and contributions of fresh graduates. As we know, fresh graduates are individuals who have just completed their studies at the diploma, bachelor degree, master or even PhD level, most of whom only have theoretical knowledge and some practical knowledge when compared to the skill of those who have been working for a long time. May refer to the interview with a manager of e-commerce business conducted by Cosmo 2022, which stated that a minimum of 3 years of work experience in the field is the main criterion for most companies in this country to hire employees instead of hiring new graduate or fresh graduate. The time has come for employers in Malaysia, especially in Kuala Lumpur, to fairly evaluate candidates and provide fresh graduate with the opportunity to enter the job market by looking at and evaluating the extracurricular involvement and volunteer contribution of fresh graduate, whether at the school, university, community, or at the national level through the certificates that they obtain. Why? This is because the involvement and contribution indirectly give exposure to the world of work. The recommendation that the government can consider in solving the issue of economic instability is to encourage the establishment of a new SME sector and support the existing SME sector. Why? This is proposed because SME are one of the sectors that contribute the most to national income. This is supported by the statement of the Minister in the Prime Minister Department, Datuk Sri Muhammad Rizal Muhammad Yusof, as cited in Bernama 2021, in which he mentioned that SME are the engine of national economic growth and one of the largest contributors to the GDP. Additionally, is it demonstrated to be significant by the fact that the government, through the 12 Nation Plan, has set a goal for SME to contribute 45% of the GDP by the year 2025 as stated by Cosmo 2022. Due to that, is it seen as very important for the government to give a serious focus on this sector, because is it able to have a positive impact not only to increase the national income, but is it also able to create job opportunities which indirectly can reduce the issue of unemployment. According to Cosmo 2022, overall, the SME sector provides 8 million job opportunities. Therefore, the government can encourage and help more citizens interested in starting and expanding SME sector businesses through initiatives such as subsidies, loans, or tax reductions. This is a long-term government investment in the establishment and empowerment of the SME sector, because in the end, it will benefit the government itself, because the SME sector will open up many job opportunities, pay various type of taxes, and therefore will improve the national economy. With a stable economy, fresh graduates have the opportunity to gain work experience and improve their careers. Hence, looking at the current state of Malaysia economy during the post-pandemic COVID-19, the government is urged to take the appropriate initiative and consider the recommendation proposed in an effort to help the government solve this worrying issue.
One of the limitations is time constraint. The time given is insufficient for us to distribute the questionnaire survey and obtain as much as possible data from the respondent. Therefore, it is suggested to allocate sufficient time for future researchers to carry out their research study. Besides that, the questionnaire distributed was constructed in only one language, which is English. This will make it difficult for respondents who do not understand the language to answer each question in the questionnaire. As a result, most of the respondents will merely ignore the questionnaire, or even some of them will tend to randomly pick any of the answer, which will result in false and inaccurate data. Therefore, to make it easier for the respondent to comprehend the question, future researchers should include at least 2 languages, specifically English and Malay, in their survey.
Conclusion, the topic of factors of unemployment among fresh graduates in Kuala Lumpur post-pandemic Malaysia has been chosen to be studied in depth by researchers, as is a current issue that is currently receiving a lot of attention, especially in the third world countries such as Malaysia, which was severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic that hit the world at the end of 2019. Is it important to study this issue? Because is it seen as very worrying, because they are a group marginalized from the job market during this post-pandemic. Therefore, researchers have studied the factors that cause unemployment to continue to increase among the group by using various methods to examine the relationship between the factors in question and the extent to which they influence each other. As the analysis has been carried out, the results obtained are that The factor of economic instability is the highest factor that contributes to the issue of unemployment among fresh graduates in Kuala Lumpur during the post-pandemic, as the economy affects many other aspects. Aware of the factors that cause this issue, the researchers have agreed to propose some recommendations that are expected to help certain parties, especially the government, in an effort to curb the issue of unemployment among fresh graduates from becoming more prevalent through this research. Through this research that has been carried out, is it highly hoped that the study and research will be able to benefit other researchers in their efforts to study the scope of the same issue. That's all from us. Thank you.